She is 25 years old. She is making something her grandmother taught her how to make: honey, crushed acacia leaves, and one more ingredient: crocodile dung. That's not a mistake. That's a recipe. A real one. Written down 4,000 years ago. This is the half of history nobody bothered to write down. Let's get into it. The Kahun Gynaecological Papyrus, written around 1825 BC, almost 4,000 years ago, is the oldest known medical text dedicated entirely to women's health. And among the recipes for treating women's diseases, 3 specific methods for preventing pregnancy. Method 1, the crocodile dung mixture. Method 2, honey and natron salt. Method 3, acacia gum mixed with dates and honey, soaked into a wool tampon. And Egypt was not alone. In ancient Greece and Rome, a plant called Silphium, harvested from a small region in modern-day Libya, was so prized as a contraceptive it was worth more than its weight in silver. Roman emperors stored it in their treasuries. Julius Caesar reportedly kept his own personal supply. In ancient Greece, Hippocrates himself documented the use of wild carrot seeds, Queen Anne's lace, as a contraceptive over 2,400 years ago. Ancient Chinese women drank mercury tea. Ancient Persian women used pomegranate seeds. Medieval European herbalists prescribed pennyroyal, rue, and tansy. The Greek myth of Persephone, the goddess who ate pomegranate seeds and could no longer bear children, was not just a story. It was a coded warning. Across continents and centuries, women had ways to control their own fertility. Every culture had its own methods, which raises the obvious question: did any of this actually work? Here's where modern science gets uncomfortable. Some of it actually worked. Acacia gum, when it ferments, produces lactic acid, the same active ingredient used in many modern spermicides. Honey is naturally antibacterial, protecting against infection from the other ingredients. And crocodile dung, bear with me, is alkaline, a property modern spermicides also rely on. Ancient women were not throwing random things into their bodies hoping for the best. They had real pharmacology. They just didn't have laboratories. Queen Anne's lace, the wild carrot Hippocrates wrote about, has been confirmed in peer-reviewed studies to have measurable anti-fertility effects. Silphium was apparently so effective that the Romans harvested it to extinction by the 1st century AD. The Roman writer Pliny the Elder claimed that the last surviving stock of Silphium was given to the Emperor Nero as a curiosity, and he ate it, a plant, driven to extinction, because women wanted to control when they had children. That should tell you how much they wanted it, which raises a different question. Why did they want it so badly? The answer is not romantic. It is not philosophical. The answer is math. For most of human history, every pregnancy carried real risk of death. Before modern medicine, between 1 and 3% of births killed the mother. Some estimates run higher in poor conditions or with difficult deliveries. For women of childbearing age, pregnancy was the leading cause of death, higher than disease, higher than violence, higher than anything else. Every pregnancy was a gamble with her own life, and every additional child she had multiplied that risk. And if she died, the children she already had, the family she had built, also lost everything. Contraception was not a convenience. It was survival. For her existing children, for the family she had built. Now picture the woman from the beginning of this video again. She was not being strange. She was not being primitive. She was protecting everything she loved. So, what happened to all of this knowledge? Most of it was lost. But lost is the wrong word. The right word is taken. Across centuries, this knowledge was deliberately suppressed. In 1486, 2 German clergymen published a book called the Malleus Maleficarum, Latin for the Hammer of Witches. This book, used for centuries as the manual for hunting witches, specifically named midwives as the most dangerous category of witch. Why? Because midwives knew. They knew the herbs, they knew the recipes, they knew the timing, and they passed this knowledge from woman to woman, generation to generation, mostly without writing any of it down, which meant when the witch hunters came, the knowledge died with the women they killed. Tens of thousands of women across Europe and the Americas. Killed. Most of them poor. Most of them old. Many of them healers. And then, in 1873, the United States Congress passed a law called the Comstock Act. It made it a federal crime to send any information about contraception through the mail. 24 states passed even stricter versions. In one of them, contraception itself was illegal. That law stayed on the books for contraception until 1971, which means for most of your grandmother's lifetime, even teaching about contraception was technically illegal in the United States. A lot has changed. Modern contraception is safe, effective, and widely available across most of the developed world. But the broader pattern of women's reproductive knowledge being contested, debated, and restricted has not ended. In many parts of the world today, access to reliable contraception remains limited, contested, or denied. Sometimes for reasons that echo the same arguments the Comstock Act used 150 years ago. The substances have changed. The conversation has not. Women are still having to advocate for their right to make decisions about their own reproduction, just like their grandmothers, and their great-grandmothers, and every grandmother before them. So here is the woman from the beginning of this video one more time. She knew what she was doing. She was not alone. She was part of a tradition that went back thousands of years and continues in different forms today. Every woman alive today exists because her ancestors managed to survive having children, or managed not to. The crocodile dung is not the joke. The fact that she had to use it is. That's the half of history nobody bothered to write down. And I'm going to keep telling it. Next video, how young some ancient brides really were. Subscribe so you don't miss it. I'm telling the stories nobody wrote down. See you in the next one.